there, be light. This is an example of how simple and revolutionary ritual can be. So I'm going to hold this here. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes, put your feet on the ground. Just get comfy for just a minute and take a breath in and out. And in and out. And know that right where you are is sacred ground, is a holy foundation. Right where you are is a faith space. There's nowhere you need to go or be or become, just right here. And breathe that in and out. We also want to acknowledge the original caretakers of the land that we're on. For me, that is the Arapaho and Cheyenne peoples. And I pray that wherever you are, you connect to the spirits and the legacies and the wisdom of those who cultivated this earth long before we got here. We honor their lives, and we honor the trauma that has transpired by alchemizing that past. That right here, right now, we do the work. We channel any layers of privilege we have, and we put them to work. We utilize them with purpose. I also call upon all of our ancestors in this space, wherever realms they may be in dimensions, that we are who we are because of where we come from and who we come from, and the narratives that we learned and the narratives that we continue to tell ourselves. And tonight is a chance for us to remember those and respect those, and also to co-create new ones for ourselves that are more in alignment with who we want to be and how we want to radiate into the world. So as we breathe that in and slowly come back to the space, feel your feet on the ground, and know that this is a faith space. And we get to share it together. And that's what we're doing. That's what ritual does. It revitalizes the faith that we lose all the time in the mundane and in the society that doesn't reflect who we really are and who we really aspire to be. So we get to create something different tonight. So thank all of you for participating with me. The two main modes of ritual are releasing and calling in. And you often need to go hand in hand. And on a new moon is a great time, and especially on this one, there is death, there is release, there is transformation, and it is so important that we still plant seeds of the world we want to manifest and make real. That resiliency, and it goes hand in hand. You have to purge and then take in. You have to release and welcome. It's the tide flowing out and coming back in. And Cancer energy is womb energy. It is water energy. It's the ruling planet of Cancer is the moon, for good reason. And it dictates the tides, and it ebbs and flows in our souls. I know that to be true. And so we couldn't end this ritual without that manifestation piece. And for me, when I see a binary in my life, I know I have missed something very obvious, because I do not believe that the universe creates either or, black and white, good and bad situations. So I tend to take a beat, pause, and listen. hopefully sooner rather than later, hopefully before any more really harm has been done per se. Um, so I lift it up to say that the moments of change remind me the power that I have to rewrite the narrative, not just to just always be in reactionary mode. We do have control over our reactions and responses, which is really awesome. But I often forget, oh yeah, it's okay. Like I really can keep writing the story. Like it's not necessarily the end. I often say to people, if it's not good, it's not the end. Like I don't like the healing process, like you have to go fully around the circle. And if it's still in that severing space, if there's still something going on, it's not the end yet. And sometimes it takes a few days and sometimes that takes decades to get to the end of whatever cycle it is. And good doesn't mean like beautiful, happy. Good just means like clean and clear, and you can put it really to bed, whatever that is. And so the fact that there's so much turmoil says to me, great, we're in this writing period. Writing has guided me my whole life. And I'm such a journaler. And so I pray that whatever ritual you do tonight, that journaling is part of it. But the woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle so that she may fly from the serpent into the wilderness to her place where she is nourished for a time and times and time and a half. Then from his mouth the serpent poured water like a river over after the woman to sweep her away with the flood. But the earth came to help the woman. It opened its mouth and swallowed the river that the dragon had poured from his mouth. And the dragon was angry with the woman and went off to make war on the rest of her children, those who keep the commandments of God and hold the testimony of Jesus. I'm not a Christian, never been one, never gonna be one. Just gonna like put it out there. If you are one, fabulous. This is one of my absolute favorite passages in the entire New and Old Testament because of what it represents. It talks about a woman with stars under her feet and the moon and the sun above her head. And it talks about the wilderness literally being her safe space, that the womb of earth literally holds her and makes sure that she is kept safe from any harm that even came from below or the heavens to harm her, and that she is pregnant. Sure, yeah, with a male child. We don't know all about that, but it's amazing that she's pregnant with possibility. And Sid, you said right at the end, you said, oh yeah, you know, space and time is an illusion. And I wrote many papers on time travel in seminary for sure. And that's what that text means too. It says, and she went to time, times, and time and a half. And what this translates to in that time period is really more of a chronos time. It's not like a linear time. It's this swirling idea of time in general. And I feel like that's what we're getting right now with this unveiling, with this pandemic. We're getting this swirling moment of time where the wilderness is literally giving us a womb of safety and serenity and security. And this Taurus moon really embodies that. So I wanted to share that story with you. You can look up lots of different versions of it. It's chapter 12 from the book of Revelation. And it is a book that is the craziest book you're going to read in this whole text, which is saying a lot. Because it's totally about the future, and it's a book of magic, and it's a book of what could be and what may be. And so not a lot of it makes linear sense. And that's what I think that this moment is also giving us. This is a public health crisis, sure. And crisis is another word for opportunity. I love it when the natural world mirrors what we're going through. Sometimes it's very painful. Sometimes like with hurricanes and fires and that kind of thing. But we don't exist separate from our planet. And I pray that is one of the things that we learn as we traverse the new way of being in this bigger transition. I do want to say something that you'll probably hear me repeat as we go through this transition throughout the next few months is the difference between transition and transformation. and that a transition is something that happens to you. You can transition your job or a relationship, I suppose. Um, you can transition it to a different house, whatever you want. But a transformation changes the core of who you are. Butterflies don't just happen. A caterpillar literally devolves into primordial goo. Like there is nothing left of that caterpillar uh, to create the butterfly. So if you're feeling like absolute goo, like awesome, like you're doing it right. So I just want to empower you to not accidentally go, oh crap, this is happening. Oh crap, this is happening. Here we go. All right. What do I need? Here are my tools. Here are my people. Get my community. Get my, like, what are my rituals? All of that. So again, just like I tell Otis, on purpose and with purpose, we have the opportunity to do this with integrity and with intention. And I empower you to not let this moment pass you by. I empower you to do the work needed because the world needs us right now. And this is a time that we're anointed and not an accident. There's no accidental anointing.